Hello students, so today you are going to learn chapter 3rd, fiber to fabric, from the class 7th. Students, in the class 6th you have learnt about some fibers obtained from plants. You also learned that wool and silk fibers are obtained from animals. Wool is obtained from the fleece. Fleece means hair of sheep or yak, and the silk fibers come from cocoons of the silk moth. Okay, so here is the first point, animal fibers. Here in the picture you can see a sheep picture. On the sheep body long hairs are present, and the common, here you can see the common animal fibers are wool and silk. These are the common animal fibers. Two are there, wool and silk. Where the wool is obtained from the sheep, not only sheep, there are many animals: goat, yak, camel, llama and alpaca. So these are the animals which are yielding wool. So remember, you have to remember all these points. Which animal gives us wool? Not only sheep but also goat, yak, camel, llama and alpaca. But now silk. Silk is obtained from the silkworm. So what is the silkworm? How it looks? It is given in the next slide. So you can see. Now here is the goat. This goat also yield wool, and we also obtain wool from this goat. Not only goat but yak. Now you are well known about the yak wool. Mostly this yak wool is very common in Tibet and Ladakh. So this yak also gives us wool. Camel, it is found in the desert. This wool, these fibers which are present on the camel body, which are called as hair or fleece. This fleece is used to obtain the wool. So this camel also called as wool yielding animal. This one is the llama animal, and with the llama this one is the alpaca. So these two type of animal yields wool, and these two type of animal found in the South America. Now here is the silkworm. This is the silkworm. See here, many silkworms are there which are in white color, and this is the green leaves. These leaves are of mulberry plant. So these silkworms are feeding on the mulberry leaves, and they start growing and they start producing the silk. They produce silk cocoon, and after the boiling cocoon in the hot water, then we can get the silk. Now we will go in detail what is the wool, from where it is obtained. So here wool is obtained from the fleece, meaning is given here, hair. Whose fleece? Sheep, goat, camel, yak, llama, alpaca and other animals. Because region wise the animals are different. In some region, in some states, in some countries, in some states sheep, this wool yielding animal is found. Somewhere goat, for example Jammu and Kashmir, there Angora goats are found. Camel is found in the desert. Yak is found in the Tibet and Ladakh. Then llama, alpaca, all these type of animals are found in the South America. So if the region is changed, then animals are also changed, but these all animals are yielding wool. These animals have thick coat of hair on their bodies because the hair traps air, and the air is poor conductor of heat. So the hair keeps their body warm. Now you can see here, you have learnt about the air is a poor conductor, and generally this animal hair traps the air, and once the air is get trapped, then air act as a poor conductor. So the body heat will not get transferred out, and that's why body feel warm. And these type of clothing, for example sweater which is made from wool, keep body warm. So generally in the winter season these sweaters are used to keep our body warm. The most common wool is sheep wool. Yak wool is common in Tibet and Ladakh. The wool is obtained from Angora goats of Jammu Kashmir. Now in Jammu Kashmir these Angora goats are found, and those goats are also yielding wool, and their wool is very soft. Here you can see the wool is very soft, and that soft wool is used to make the shawls. Different type of shawls, different colorful designer shawls are made there, and that shawl is made by using the soft wool. Now camel hair is also used as wool, as I told you before. Now llama, alpaca found in the South America and also yield wool. These two type of animal, llama and alpaca, they found in the South America. They are wool yielding animal. Now how the wool is obtained from the fibers. Now the process fibers to wool. For obtaining wool, sheep are reared, and then their hair is cut or removed, and the processed into wool. So for this obtaining the wool, first the animal should be reared. So which type of animals? Generally sheep. Many animals are there. So sheep are reared. They are fed on different type of food is given there to the sheep. Lot of care is taken. So in the rearing process everything happens, and afterwards when there is a proper growth of the fleece or hair, then it is removed with the one type of machine and then processed into wool. So what is rearing and breeding of the sheep? Here you can see sheep are reared in many parts of country like Jammu Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Uttaranchal, Sikkim, Arunachal Pradesh, Haryana, Punjab, Rajasthan, Gujarat, etc. So in this region of the country, sheep are reared. In many parts, sheep are reared. Sheep feed on grass and leaves. So what is the food of the sheep? Grass and leaves. They are also fed with a mixture of pulses. Now this is also food. Pulses, corn, jowar, oil cakes and minerals. In winter, sheep are kept indoors and fed on leaves, grains and dry fodder. Some breeds of sheep have thick hair on their body which yield good quality wool in a large quantities, and they are selectively bred to get sheep of good breed. Now here the selective breeding means what? Means selection. Here you can understand one concept, that selective breeding means what and why it is done. There are two types of fibers found in the sheep. First is coarse bed hair, which is quite rough in the nature, and the fine soft under hair. They are very close to the skin. The fine hair provide the fibers for making wool, and some breeds of the sheep possesses only fine under hair. So their parents are specially chosen to give birth to the sheep which have only soft under hair. So this process of selecting parents for what? To obtain special characters in their offspring, in their young one, such as soft under hair in a sheep, and this term is called as selective breeding. And by this selective breeding, the sheeps of special characters like fine under hair can be obtained. Next point is processing fibers into wool. The processing fibers into wool is done in 6 steps. The first step is shown here, shearing. What is meant by shearing? The fleece of the sheep is removed from its body along with a thin layer of skin, but this thin layer of skin is dead, using machines. Which machines are used now here? The machines which barbers are using in their shop to cut hair, to remove hair. Those machines are used to remove the hair from the body of sheep, and along with the dead skin. The skin is dead. So this process, this shearing process does not harm to the sheep. The sheared skin with hair is washed in tanks to remove grease, dust and dirt, and this process is called as scoring. Now first process is shearing, where the hair or fleece is removed along with the dead thin layer of skin, and the second is scoring, means the sheared skin with hair is washed in the tanks to remove the dust and dirt. Now hairy skin is sent into a factory where the hairs of different textures are separated, and this process is called as sorting. Now removing the fleece done, then scoring means washing, that process also done. The next is sorting. Sorting means separating. Here the in the factory, when the hairy skin is sent, then the hair of different textures, where the hairs are present there but they are with a different textures, so they are separated. This separating is the third step. The next fourth step is the small fluffy fibers are called burrs are separated from the hairs and again washed and dried. Now fluffy fibers, these fluffy fibers or burrs, these fluffy fibers are called as burrs. So they are picked out from the hair. These are the same burrs which sometimes appears on our sweaters. Same burrs. So they are picked out, and then the fiber again scored. Scored means washed and dried again. And this is the wool ready to be drawn into the fibers now. The fibers then dyed in a different colors. So different colors are available there, and in the different color the fibers are dyed or colored. The fibers are straightened, combed and rolled into the yarn. Now the fibers are straightened, means they made straight, then they combed and they rolled into the yarn, and they are then spun and woven into the fabric. So this is the process. Fibers to wool and then fabric. When the yarn is done, when the yarn rolled, then afterwards it gets spun and woven into the fabric. Here in the picture you can see this person is shearing with the help of this machine. You can see the machine is used to shear or to remove the fleece from the sheep body along with the dead skin. That layer is very thin, so this shearing process does not harm to the sheep. This machine is used in the shearing process, and the same type of machine is used in the barber shop also. Here you can see different colored fibers. See here, all the fibers are colored here. This is the yarn rolled, this is the fabric, and this one is also the fabric. So this is the process of fiber to fabric. Now the next point is silk. Now silk is obtained from the silkworm, and the rearing of silkworm for obtaining silk is called as sericulture. So what is sericulture? Rearing of silkworm for obtaining silk. This is called as sericulture. Here is the life history of the silk moth. So what is the life history of the silk moth? So the female silk moth lay eggs which hatch into larvae called as caterpillars or silkworms. The larva feeds on mulberry leaves and grows in size. Then it secretes fibers made up of protein and waves the fibers around itself completely and form pupa. The covering is called cocoon. The pupa then develop into young silk moth. The silk yarn thread is obtained from the cocoon of the silk moth, and the most common silk moth is mulberry silk moth. Here you can see in the picture, this is the male silk moth and this is the female silk moth, and this is the life history of the silk moth. Here you can see adult silk moth lay eggs on mulberry leaf. These eggs after get hatched, after hatching the eggs, the larva or the caterpillar come out, and this larva or caterpillar feed on the mulberry leaves, and then it grows in the size and forms cocoon. And in the cocoon the larva undergoes in the pupa stage, and again this cocoon, when the pupa will break the cocoon, it come out in the adult silk moth form. But before the breaking of the cocoon, these cocoons are sold to the factory to make the silk fibers. Here also clearly you can see in the picture adult silk moth. This is the female silk moth, lay eggs. Hundred of eggs are laid here on the leaf. So here you can see in the picture small eggs on the mulberry leaf. After hatching the eggs, this caterpillar or this larva come out, and this larva secrete one fiber called protein and weave some fibers around itself, and then it convert into the cocoon where the larva undergo the pupa stage and the cocoons developed into a moth. So this is the life cycle or life history of the silk moth. This one is the mulberry tree, and this mulberry tree used in the sericulture, mulberry leaf, mulberry. From cocoon to silk. Now how silk fibers are obtained, or how the silk is obtained from the cocoon. Silk moths are reared and their cocoons are collected to get silk yarns or silk threads. Rearing of silkworm. The female silk moth lay eggs. The eggs are warmed to a suitable temperature. The eggs hatch into larvae called caterpillar or silkworm. The silkworm are kept in bamboo trays. So in the sericulture, when you visit to the sericulture, you can see there are many trays. Sometimes plastic trays are also used or bamboo trays are used, and in the bamboo trays there some mulberry leaves are kept, and on that leaves these eggs are kept, and after the hatching of egg the larvae come out and start feeding on it and grows day by day. Feed on mulberry leaf and grows in size. After 30-40 days the silkworms stop eating and begins to spin cocoons. So near about 30-40 days that larvae or the caterpillars eat only mulberry leaves day and night, and after 30-40 days they stop the eating and they begin to spin the cocoons. They secrete one fibers from their mouth called protein. When it come in the contact with the air, then the cocoon formation takes place. Inside the cocoon the silkworm develops into the silk moth. Now the processing of the silk. What type of processes are done on the silk? The cocoons are collected and kept in sunlight or boiled or exposed to the steam. The silk fibers separated out. The process of taking out the fibers from the silk fibers are then spun into the threads and woven into the silk cloth. Here the process of taking out the fibers from the cocoon is called as reeling. This one is reeling. So what is the reeling? The process of taking out the fibers from the cocoons is called as reeling, and the reeling is done by the machines. And the silk fibers are then spun into the threads and woven into the silk cloth. Here you can see the female silk moth lays eggs on the mulberry leaf. These are the eggs then converted into larvae. Larvae day night feed on the mulberry leaves. After 30 or 40 days it stops eating the leaves and begins to spin the cocoons. So these are the cocoons here. This is the sericulture. Here you can see the thread or fiber of the silk or silk fiber. Here the silk fiber is spun and woven, and here the silk cloth. You can see the picture of silk cloth here. So again here is the rearing of silkworm. The whole process is shown. processing of silk. You can see in this picture, these cocoons are boiled to obtain the thread. Here it is spun and woven into the fabric, and this is the silk fabric or silk cloth. In this picture also you can see all the processes. Thank you.